What's up, Flavor Fest family? Welcome to the Flavor Fest Urban Leadership Podcast. Listen, if you are an artist, you definitely want to lean in to this episode. You want to tap in, you want to share this with some other artists. There's going to be some gems that are going to be dropped on here. But listen, if you're not an artist, if you're just a leader, pastor, church planner, don't go nowhere. There's still going to be some powerful leadership lessons and some stuff that you're going to be able to pull out of this. A brother that's going to be coming to Flavor Fest this year in Tampa in November. And so, tap in. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that like button as well. And here we go. Let's jump in. Welcome to the Flavor Fest Urban Leadership Podcast, where we talk to innovative artists, creative pastors, church planners, entrepreneurs, and people creating movements. Our goal is to inspire and equip you in ministry, music, and the marketplace. I'm your host, Tommy Urban D. Coloni. So listen, Flavor Fest family, today we got some greatness in the building, some greatness on the stream today. A brother with a lot of knowledge when it comes to the music industry, and I'm not as tapped in as an artist as I once was at one time, and the music industry has changed a whole lot, and it's rapidly changing every single day with social media and AI and algorithms and new technology and just all kinds of different things. There's a lot to keep up with, and this guy has his pulse on what is happening. And so you definitely want to tap in today, lean in today. Again, share this with some artists, but we got none other than my guy, Doc Watson from RMG, that is in the building. So come on, what's up, Doc? How you doing, man? Make some noise for my guy, Doc.
Yeah, what's going on, bro? How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm good, bro. Good, man. So just kind of give everybody a rundown, man. Who is Doc Watson, and what do you do with RMG Music? Kind of give us a little bit of the story, the 30,000 view, man.
Yeah, well, we started out way back in the day. Derek and I, we started a label. I think it was 2009 when we officially started RMG, and we went from there to doing Amplify, to starting a pub admin company, to diving into sync music, and kind of our goal has just been to open up the culture more, grow business, create opportunities, give artists opportunities to be to get support. I think early on in Christian rap, kind of posts cross culture, uh, um, or cross movement. I'm sorry, cross culture, cross movement.
Cross
I'm a
movement.
little so my
CM.
bad, guys. My brain is slow, but yeah. So cross movement, man. They definitely started. There's people before them, but the era that I'm more familiar with is post cross movement, and there wasn't a lot of options label wise. There was some out there,
Yeah.
So kind of around 2017, we wanted to start more of a label support service side. So we started Amplify, which has been great. And Amplify is kind of a situation where artists on different levels can get support. So we initially made it for artists like Thizzle that were kind of in between situations and
Yeah.
needed a team, and then we started making it available to artists that were developing with a different kind of deal where they could pay for the support and get a deeper split their way, so they can keep more of their revenue, and because then you're building them and you're not really making money as a company at that point. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to how streams work, it just takes a long time to build
Yeah.
that momentum. So yeah, we've been just trying to help people find their money too. Uh, One thing I've noticed is that a lot of artists, because it's all when you start out, you're just looking at Master Money, DistroKid, TuneCore,
Yep.
United Masters, whatever you're using, and you're just used to that. But there's a lot more revenue that comes in naturally through publishing and the MLC and Sound Exchange. So we've been
Yeah.
just trying to connect the dots for people and create more revenue and more money for the internal culture, so people can spend more, spend with each other, promote themselves, go on tour. And I think I'm seeing, I think after about 5 years, we're starting to see the effects of it,
Yeah.
at least for our part. You know what I'm saying? There's other people doing things too, Reach and majors and
Hmm.
got more money and stuff like that. So I think it's dope. It gives artists options, you know?
Yeah, man, I think that's so good, bro, because your average artist, creative, um, how's that creative side of their brain working, and to really like
Yeah.
do all this stuff for yourself as an artist. There's not a lot of artists that are wired that way, that are going to step through all those things and learn all those things and manage all those things. And so I think it's been a blessing, man, even for like Derek, to have somebody like you in his life, because a lot of times a lot of record labels, like everybody that works at the record label is also an artist when it's first
Yeah.
starting out. I know we've had that conversation before. Like you
Yeah.
weren't trying to like drop an album too. You were just focused on like all the nuts and bolts and the details. And you know, so for
Oh, texture is
some
what I
artists to
was.
have that available is
Yeah.
great. And so with Amplify, you guys kind of have like almost like the buffet of like, here's the services of the things you need. You might not be able to do all of it, or might not have the budget for all of it yet, but these are the things that we can offer, and these are the things that are going to help you in all these different areas that a lot of times artists don't even know about. Publishing, they don't know about sync deals, they don't know about Sound Exchange. You know, I just got a check from Sound Exchange this week. I was like, let's go. Praise God for Sound Exchange, you know. But a lot of artists, I mean, I'm making way more money on Sound Exchange than I am on my streams, you know. And so, and then even obviously through any kind of, you know, sync deals or any licensing deals you can get, a lot of artists just aren't really sure about where to start with that or how to do that. I've talked to a lot of artists, they don't even have any idea what that is. They're just trying to make music and put it on the platforms and go out and do shows, and that's it. And maybe sell some merch. And so, man, that's so important, man. So what would you say, bro? Like, what are some things that artists need to focus on right now in today's music industry climate? Because everything's always changing.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna talk about this Flavor Fest a little bit, man. One of the conversations I have a lot outside of playlists and stream, and monthly listeners, and just helping people understand what they're looking at is the marketing of the music, right? And
Yeah,
you know, people confuse marketing and promotion, right? Promotion is you're promoting your current followers, your fans. Marketing is growth, and a lot of new artists, the hardest pill to swallow, I think, for the majority of, not all of them, is that you're going to have to spend money or time, and a lot
yeah,
of it.
you are.
And yeah, and it's kind of there's no like sure way. Every artist is different. Every artist has their own path. There's just a way, and there's a lot of frustration with Instagram, a lot of frustration with the algorithm changing when they start, like during COVID, for instance. People were at home and didn't really couldn't go out. So the phone became the new stage, really. During that time. So the algorithm was different, and some people really found success during that time. But what you'll notice is that a lot of them had a hard time converting that into live shows.
Yeah,
Because people watching you and you performing for 15 to 30 seconds on the clip is a lot different than you performing at a place and having a personal connection.
yeah,
One of the things that I see people struggling with in Christian rap is the dependency on honorariums and churches and not necessarily building out their own value and doing shows. So they start to become a little inflated on what they feel they're worth when they come out. Um,
come on, preach that, bro. I
yeah.
know
Now,
that as an event promoter, and what artists are trying to get right now, a lot of them, just to be real, like they're I'm not saying, I'm not coming against your worth, but I'm coming against the amount that people are asking for. Ticket sales are not gonna, you're not gonna sell
no,
that many tickets, and that
yeah,
person that's bringing you in is gonna lose money. There's an
yeah,
event, our building gets rented a lot for events, and there was an event that happened here a little while back, and an artist came and charged a crazy amount, and the promoter actually lost tens of thousands of dollars. And it was like, yo, that artist can't command that amount of money anymore. Maybe they could at one time, but it's like, man. And so, but that's only hurting everybody else, because then
right.
like people that put on events or shows are like, I'm just not doing Christian hip hop anymore. It's just, and so, yeah, so be realistic with what you're charging artists. I love y'all, but yeah, you want to just
Yeah,
get
and
in the door, get in front of
that's
some
on the
people.
artist. Yeah, well, I mean, and that's not to say they may not be worth it in different situations. Like
Yeah,
what a lot of them just don't realize because they didn't come up the normal way, which is building out, venues and throwing shows to understand real cost analysis and
Yeah.
what your real value is, what you can put into. There's different values, right? When you get an honorarium, that's an appearance fee, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they do for like legacy DJs, legacy artists, or we're gonna have Aaron Rodgers show up and talk today. We're gonna pay him 30 grand to be here. That's it's because Aaron Rodgers is probably gonna sell 60 grand worth of revenue or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
so it's hard because a lot of artists feel that you get a church that's got a budget, and I'll explain this so they know. Like, what a church will do is they'll go, hey, for this year we've got 40 grand for our youth group, you know, and if it's a mega church or whatever, and so they put somebody in charge, and that person books it, and they do a major event. And I'm gonna tell you how many times I've been in convos with people that have booked shows, spent the whole 40 grand on one show, and they've never done a show because the church was like, wait, what about the rest of the year? And did we sell tickets? And we sold like 100, but we let it look like everybody just came free. And so a lot of times when those
Mm.
things start happening, if you're smart about it, you'll know that, man, that's too much value, and you may kill an opportunity forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
You're right.
it's it's a hard conversation because if you don't really know it and you're not used to it and you haven't, and then also, like, who am I to say that you're not worth whatever you think you're worth, right? Like, I'm not really in the business of telling people they're not,
Yeah.
but it's just, don't be surprised if you go to a venue and you're like, pay us a grand and we'll split ticket sales with you, and you sell 100 tickets and you make 2 grand, you give a grand to them, 400 to the staff of the team, and then you walk away with zero. You make money on merch, and that's kind of, I would say that that's one of the big things, and it all stems from social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, it stems from, hey, look at my views, hey, look at my
Hmm.
clicks, hey, look at this, and that's more of down the road of influence. So you have to learn how to turn that into something bigger.
Yeah.
You got to figure out where your fans are. You got to connect with those people. Because just remember, like, going up on a timeline and hitting like takes me 5 seconds. I'm gone. I'm on the
Yeah.
next
That
thing.
doesn't mean somebody's going to buy a ticket to come see you at a show. They might have liked your
Absolutely.
video, but that doesn't mean that they're going to actually come and spend money to come see you. It's a
Right.
numbers game. The more people you have following, then the more is that percentage that's actually going to engage. But
Yeah.
sometimes, yeah, people get stuck on like, look, man, I have 30,000 followers. It's like, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that 30,000
It's
people
hard.
are really engaged.
Hard, man. These newer artists, these younger guys and ladies are coming up in an era where they always had a phone.
Hmm.
You and I are from an era where we didn't have that. So
Yeah.
we're used to the other way, and we know what that was like before this, and that other way still exists. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
the hand sales, the getting out with your music, that era is still there. So now that COVID's over, the algorithm is changing. The shows are happening again, and you're seeing a dip in some people's numbers because people are going out. They're out on weekends, they're out in the evenings, they're doing stuff. So
Yeah.
the goal should always be for any artist, that wants to be a performer, right? The goal should always be to convert into fans and supporters and to get out to them
Hmm.
and perform for them. And Derek did that really well. Derek, it was his idea. He made it a point to go out and connect with as many people as possible for his project. He wanted to get a feel for what was out there, where people are mentally, where his fans are, and because of that, on his album, he had a really deep connection with people because he had a pulse for what was going on in his artist, in his community of people he's dealing
Yeah.
with. And what he found was a lot of people are hurting right now, confused, broken.
Yep.
They're not really trying to party.
Yeah.
They're really trying to turn up. They're really just hurting. And so uh, when you listen to his album, you're hearing adjustments that he made, to meet people where they were at. So that's the importance of getting out in front of your fans, and it's still important to do work on Instagram and TikTok or whatever you choose, or both, or all of them.
Yeah.
But you have to do, and it's exhausting, man. It's tough. It's tough on
Yeah. It's
artists.
something you got to keep up with every day,
Yeah,
every
every
single
day.
day, man. So
Yeah,
you disappear for a while, and man, people can forget about you quick.
too
Everything's
fast.
moving fast, man. So
Yeah,
what's your take, man, on like let's talk about AI for a minute. Like, how do
yeah.
you think that is changing things, or what's your prediction on where that might go?
You meant AI, the anomaly. Uh, Nah, man, it's AI is it's weird. Like it just feels like well, we always knew it was out there. I think growing up, we always heard about AI, and
Yeah.
I guess you knew at some point it was going to
We
be
saw
here.
the movie I, Robot, and we're like,
Terminator.
oh, snap.
Yeah, yeah, Terminator is the one. It's like you almost kind of like saw the future in that one.
Yeah.
But
And Matrix, of course.
yeah, Matrix. Actually, Matrix is supposed to be like after Terminator. It's supposed to be the same movie. I
Mm,
didn't know that. I just found out about it. Like it's after Terminator has happened, and that's the
I,
new.
I didn't
Yeah,
even know that. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. I didn't know. I just found out last year. But basically, like AI is great. I mean, it's great for a few things. It's great for
Yeah.
doing some write ups. Obviously, writing tools helping. Like with me, I'm not a great writer. I've never been great at writing. So it really helps me out a lot if I need it. To put words together, structure sentences in a way that
Hmm.
is proper and more journalistic. Um, I think in time it's probably going to become a lot more powerful as it gets customized. Right now it's on you to customize it. How you want it to be. There's a lot of people diving into it really deep and going forward and learning how to use it in a thousand ways. So I think it's cool. Uh, it's artificial though. So doesn't I don't think I feel like I need the human touch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
AI is just a respondent of what it thinks you want based on how we all interact together. It's trying to learn who we are, but as you know, people are different. We change constantly. So, I think as far as the tone, delivery, and trying to connect with people, it's that's a good tool to have to help you do that, but it's still on you. And what I really don't like about music right now, as far as the marketing, is and I get why, but a lot of artists are trying to find ways to use technology to engage versus them having to engage because
Hmm.
it's so
Yeah.
AI.
People getting lazy.
Yeah, that or there's also fatigue too. Like it's
Yeah.
hard, man. Like if you're an introvert, it's not fun. You
Yeah.
know,
Definitely.
if you're an extrovert, it's not too bad, but it's still a lot of work.
Yeah.
But so AI helps do that. It's got some things that I think are very helpful as a tool, and I think it just if it's overused, it doesn't sound like you, and it starts to sound like somebody else. You have to make sure that
Hmm.
you are in. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's going to be helpful. I just hate that it's going to create some complacency. I think down the road, with people,
Yeah.
De- dependency. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. I think if you can learn to balance it in a correct way, I think it could be a powerful tool. I mean, I recently we do some editing stuff on clips, and you can just put like the whole, even for like the message here, a crossover on Sunday. We would
Yeah,
have to go through and pick out what timestamps we wanted. Then they would edit it, put it through some stuff, put it up, all that. Now we can just upload the whole message into this software, and the
right.
AI picks out all the timestamps. And like we just tried it for the first time last week, and bro, like it picked out all the right spots. And we were like, woo! We were just pressing the button, and then it would start editing it, putting all the words on it, everything, download it, boom, it's ready to upload these,
See, that's what's
shorts.
awesome. Like the genius out there, if it hasn't happened already, uh, would make something just for artists where they can do a bunch of content and you can put it through a system and AI can like chop it all up and actually almost create it for you. There's something kind of like that,
Yeah,
but it's not like it, like how artists would probably want it, where it's a little more uh, involved and takes a lot. I mean, a lot of the work, man, is artists have like two struggles with it. It's either the creative side, like having to constantly create content,
yeah,
new content, or it's just the editing of it. The time it takes
yeah.
to edit it.
Yeah, I
Or
think I
both.
think the creation part, I mean, yes, it definitely takes brain power. So me as a creative, as an artist, but it comes natural and I could pump some out. But then a lot of times it's the next step that can be like, but now I gotta like edit this or pick it out or figure out. And if there's stuff out there that can take that step and make it so much easier, that's gonna be huge. It's coming. I'm sure it's coming, bro.
Yeah, it might be here already. I just don't know about it. It's
Yeah,
probably
it
something.
probably is. Somebody's gonna type in the comments like, "Yeah, try this." Put a link
Yeah,
in the comments if you know what we're talking about, and we'll all
yeah,
tap in. Yeah, man.
yeah.
So what's next right now, man? What are you guys working on, man? At RMG and Amplified, some stuff that you're like excited about.
So On the Amplify side, we signed a label in Nigeria. They've been killing it. We've got
Really?
3 artists here so far.
Wow. And
Jakar,
they from like Lagos?
yeah, I think they're all from there. I'm not super
Yeah.
sure.
I've
Um,
heard like that's like the capital of Christianity in the world, bro. Like
really?
there's so many believers. I've been to Nigeria once, and the way the country's split up, like the capital's in the middle of Nigeria, Abuja. That's where I went, and the northern
Okay.
part of Nigeria is more Muslim, and
Yeah.
the southern part is all Christian. And the southern
Right.
part is much bigger. That's where Lagos is at, and it's like a huge mega city, and there's
Yeah.
just tons of like large churches there, and like Christianity and Christian culture there is like is booming. It's funny because like the second biggest city I have that follows me on Instagram is Lagos. New York City is
Yeah.
number one. Lagos is second. So there's
That's crazy.
definitely there's a movement over there, bro. So tell me more about it, man. I'm intrigued now. So talk about the Nigerian label and that connection, how that came about.
Yeah. So they're called Fourth Crest. My guy Sola runs it. Uh, man, we picked him up last year, and Jakari was the first artist, and then they signed Kendrick, and then they signed Nolly, and they're all really really dope, man. I'll tell you one thing, they have tons of music. They just go hard constantly, music, music, music.
Yeah,
They turn out music like a lot, um, and they're super energetic, but they're doing a great job, and I'm excited because in Christian music, it's always a little behind the trends. It's never really on trend. It doesn't usually set trends when it
yeah.
comes to new creativity. But we're a little ahead of the game. I know Reach signed an artist as well, so there's different people starting to do it. But what I'm excited about, man, is just the power in that in Nigeria. Like they've been building and growing, and they've got what's cool is like Nigeria has its own representatives for all the DSPs. So like iTunes, Apple, YouTube, they're all set up down there. And
Wow.
so the label that we're dealing with, they have those connections. So they become our connections, like ours become theirs. So that's been the beauty of Amplify is just, there was a time that you and I both know where artists wouldn't work together.
Yep.
Everyone was kind of in the corners for whatever reason. It
Mm-hmm.
was really weird. I came from hip hop to Christian hip hop. I was like, why is it like that? It's Christian. I thought
Yeah,
it would be
bro. You had your theological camps, your denominational camps, your
yeah,
stylistic, you know,
yeah. And
man.
it's now it's not that way really anymore.
Yeah, I'm glad that
Uh,
era is over.
yeah, me too. And that's what we were also trying to is just create like when you have people on the same team or getting supported by some other people, it kind of connects bridges and people that don't normally talk, and it started creating natural bridges for everybody, that they can take with them whether they're here or not. So it's been dope because that's what's happening with the label out there is they're starting to create opportunities for themselves to write for other people. They're starting to do features and primary
Hmm.
artist relations. So in a world where back in the day it was nearly impossible for that to happen,
Yeah,
when we first all we're doing, it's like there really wasn't a way to do that. Their files were too big, artists couldn't travel.
yeah.
So it's really cool that we have that ability now. So I'm excited about that. We got with no apologies, and they're doing all the Latin stuff with us, so that's
Hmm.
really dope. I've been building that out with them, and they've been pretty successful. He's dropping the project next week.
So, bro, you got Latin, you got African, you got American. Like, that's dope,
Yeah,
man.
it's really dope, man. So it's we're diving into pop, R&B. Let's just kind of diving into everything, open it all up, and make it more broad. And I feel like the effect affected the whole culture. I mean, we're not the only ones impacting, but I feel like it's spread things out, and people have been building different things and growing different things, and you're starting to see more and more podcasts and more stuff happening, that people can get behind, and
Yeah,
it's dope because it's creating, a little bit of an infrastructure for us for people to put an album out and kind of be able to go out and do a press run or
yeah,
radio interview. Um, and that's dope, man. That creates revenue, sponsorships. It's good for everybody. That when you have more and more people uh, being able to make some money and support themselves, and it takes stress off of everybody and makes it more of a venture for everybody to be a part of. So that's the Amplify
definitely.
side. Of course, we got a bunch of dope artists in Amplify. Like I'm really proud of who we have and all they're doing. There's a lot of them. Um, and then on the RMG side, we've been really focusing on Derek and Cannon. Uh,
Who
you know,
all is on RMG right now?
so currently we only have four artists. We have Danielle Apicella, Myron Juwan, who we're creating a new label for because he's not really doing Christian music or anything like that. So we're creating an R&B imprint just to kind of house him.
Okay.
And then Cannon and Derek is who we have now. So we're gonna sign somebody sooner or later. We're just kind of being really careful with it,
Yeah.
and we're kind of looking around to see who fits. We feel like you got to go a different direction to do things out, right? So for us to do what Reach is doing doesn't make sense. They're doing
Yeah.
that, and they're doing
Hmm.
it. So like we don't need to do that. It's okay to have another artist that's doing something similar, but our mission is to kind of go down the alt rap, conscious hip hop route, and sign artists that are kind of dealing with real world issues,
Yeah.
that can talk about it, but perform on live stages and venues and clubs. You know what I'm saying? So we feel like at some point you got to progress that way if you want to stay in music, because
Hmm.
if you start out doing churches, typically that takes you down the road of youth groups, and then
Yeah.
those kids grow up, but when they grow up and get exposed to everything else, they may or may not stick with you. So if you're not growing up with them and you're not talking about things that they're dealing with, it's hard for them to stay connected. If your tendency is to be like, well, I got to still make Christian rap music for kids, then they're going to grow older and move on. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you've probably seen it. Flavor Fest has been around for a while and been an opportunity for people, but you got to have something where people can go beyond. Like, there's got to be another way to get
Yeah,
out as
man,
an
and I'm
artist.
praying like in our Flavor Fest tribe of churches and church plants, hip hop in a lot of those churches happens on Sunday mornings. I mean, we
Yeah,
have artists come to our church on Sunday mornings all the time. We'll have them, and they might only do like a song, because we don't do a concert every Sunday in service. We have worship, and then we might have a guest artist slot, generally a couple times a month. And I believe that as churches kind of get more in touch of what's happening in culture and music and art, that they're gonna realize, like, dude, hip hop turned 50 this year. It turned
right.
50. And so it's not just for the youth group anymore. You've got
Yeah,
people in your church in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and yes, 60s that are
yeah,
hip hop listeners. You got the whole
yeah.
gamut, pretty much almost
Mhm.
every generation now that sits in a church, except maybe your older, like 70 plus crowd might
Right.
not really be into it. But I've got a lot of people in my church that are in their 60s that are into hip hop. Not a lot of 60-year-olds, but there's a couple dozen, and a lot of
Yeah,
them are New Yorkers. They grew up in New York City. Hip hop's been
yeah,
around for 50 years. That puts them they were teenagers. They were young adults when it first started. That was their music. And so to have hip hop on a Sunday morning, have an artist come in yeah, like why not? Just like you might have a worship singer, a pop singer, or whatever style of genre come in. And so
yeah,
I think as time goes on, and of course, you go to Flavor Fest and certain other shows, and you'll see like it's mostly adults in the crowd. There's
yeah,
some youth groups there too, but I think there's got to be more of that. There's got to be more of a lane for that, because you go to a secular hip hop show, a mainstream hip hop show. It's not a youth group there. It's mostly all adults that are buying those $50 tickets, and they're
yeah.
rocking with it. So I mean, I was just 2 weeks ago. I'm friends with Montel Jordan, and he came to Tampa to the Rays game to perform. And so he hit me up, and me and my wife are friends with them. And so they're like, yeah, come hang out with us. So it was funny, man. I just thought it was just him performing after the game, like a little set or something. So I walk in the suite, and they had this look on their face, and I'm like, what's wrong? And they're like, oh, man, you just missed it. Like, the paramedics were in here. They had to take Tone Loc out. He was having a health issue, and he's not gonna be able to perform tonight. I'm like, oh, Tone Loc was performing? And
Crazy.
they're like, yeah, it's the 90s show tonight. And it's
Uh,
like, it's me, Tone Loc, Vanilla Ice, and Rob Bass. And I was a big Rob Bass fan. I'm like, Rob Bass is here? They're like, yeah, he's right there. He's eating. He was like 10 feet away from me. He had his jersey on. It said Bass on the back.
Junior high
And,
dance. That's what they were playing.
yeah, bro. And so here, this 90s show, and the majority of everybody from the game, they stayed. There was probably
That's,
like 20,000 people there, and they all came out on the field. They set a stage up, and you looked out in the crowd, and it was mostly middle-aged adults that were obviously rocking to all these songs. And so I think that's something. I'm just getting down a rabbit trail, but I'm just saying, like, I think
you're right.
the
You're thinking
church
like I'm.
misses that. Like, they just
Yeah,
totally. They think it's just
they
for
have
the youth group.
to. They, you know, at the end of the day, man, like you can compare it to rock. When I was a kid, rock was big. You know, hip hop was there, but rock was the primary genre for kids and young
Yeah,
adults. Like it was
yeah,
rebellious. You know, Van Halen, all of that was going on. Guns N' Roses, Metallica, those were the mains that you would hear about. And there was tons of groups, right? Then it went to grunge and punk, right? There's a station in San Diego that's ever popular and won't go anywhere. 91X. That's all they play. When you go to San Diego, you'll always see a black 91X sticker because it's just so popular, right? Like it'll never go away because it's just part of the culture there. But hip hop has gotten to a place where our generation grew up with it, and you know, as you get older, you got kids, you got responsibilities, so your mind changes. I
yeah,
mean, some people they just stay who they are, but as you get older, like you got different things you want to think about. So
yeah.
if
The
you're
topics can't always be the same. You
nah,
can't
and
still
you
be
know,
rapping about rims. Or I'm not gonna
nah,
listen to a song about rims all the time at my age. I'm like, yeah, okay, been there, done
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's like you know, at some point you go past it. So like
Yeah,
when Jay-Z dropped 444, you know that was an album that was definitely a redefining of hip hop for his age because he was
yeah,
beyond and he said a lot in there. Like there was a lot of you know nuggets in that project. I'm not telling Cass to go listen and don't get mad at me for that, but I'm
yeah.
just
You
saying
got
like
the poster in the background, bro. You need to cover
yeah,
that up.
it's actually a pain. Yeah, but
Yeah,
but nah,
the
man, at the end of the
canvas.
day, people got to realize that you know it's getting older, so you're gonna have older artists and you're gonna have younger artists. We got used to you know you're washed this and that and but it's like no, it's just you're younger, you're into that, you're not ready to hear this, you're not in a place where that's what you want to listen to. But as you get older, you're gonna want to hear more of that. And so the artists that stick around for a long time are the ones that find a way to stay relevant for their
Yeah,
age
yeah,
and continue on. They're not talking about. Look at Lil Wayne. He was literally a rapper since he was a kid on Cash Money.
yeah,
Matter of fact, his first album he didn't cuss because his mom wouldn't let him do music if he cussed, literally. So,
yeah,
you know, now he's still here. He's still somehow relevant. Snoop Dogg, Kanye, you know, some of the Christian rappers have been able to maintain for a long time. That's a hard job to do. It's hard
It
to stay
is. It is.
relevant.
Somebody that did that really good was J Cool LL. That is that how I'm playing, bro. I don't know if you saw that. The president messed up his name really bad the other
Oh,
day.
dude, for
Yeah,
real?
man. It was terrible, bro. He's giving him him and MC Light. He was giving him lifetime achievement awards and
I should like name some of the real old school like
couldn't
Christians
even
that
say
you
his
know.
name right. But yeah, someone like LL,
Yeah,
man, he had put out like over a dozen albums, and then also, was acting, and a lot of rappers have pivoted, and they're doing a lot of other stuff as well.
he paved the way for guys like Ice Cube to do that, right?
Yeah,
And beyond, like there's now you're seeing that happen more and more. But yeah, I mean, it's just a cultural thing, you know. Like, and once again, Tommy and I aren't saying, you know, go listen to these guys or
yeah,
we sign off on what we're talking about. We're just saying when you look at that, it's kind of a blueprint for how we should be doing things in Christian rap. Like, you know, we should be having different types of eras and venues and opportunities
yeah,
for artists, you know, to grow beyond, you know, the doing the youth group shows and stuff like that. And once again,
yeah,
there's artists that's what they're going to do forever. They want to do that, you know. But
yeah. Well,
for
we,
the one,
we had we had our first, and I think, in my opinion, I might be wrong. Maybe you could correct me. Our genre last year had our first 50-plus-year-old rapper put a new release out, and that was the Ambassador.
oh yeah,
The Ambassador put out a new project, The Invitation. He came and performed at Flavor Fest, and
that's
lyrically it's still dope. And I mean, yeah, maybe a teenager might not rock to it as much, but the people that were with him, and I think even people that weren't with him back then, can still discover and be like, yo, this is good music. This is dope. And so I think our movement needs that. We need some older voices, some mature voices. At Flavor Fest this year, we have two OGs that are coming back. We try to do that every year now. We bring back some OGs. Last year
Yeah.
we had the ambassador. We had Soup the chemist from SFC. We had the
Okay.
Truth. You know, the Truth is kind of almost in that era. He's been around for a long time, still active though. Um, he's a little younger. He's in his 40s, mid 40s. But then this year we got Chili Chill from Gospel Gangsters. So he's coming this year, and PID is coming, Preachers in Disguise, which they were big in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. So they
Yeah.
performed at Flavor Fest Houston this past summer, and bro, they killed it, man. They killed it. And so Fred Lynch is kind of the leader of that group, and they've kind of reunited, and they're starting to do some shows now. You know, and they're all like well into their 50s, you know, and so it's dope to see.
Yeah. That's dope, man. That's good to hear, man. We're doing that too for the GMA show. We're doing it's Future Legacy, is what we
Yeah, yeah,
call
I
it.
heard about that, man. That looks like that's gonna be dope. Talk about that, man. That's coming
Yeah.
up in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah. So basically, the GMA's put together a committee. Tim from Syntax, Verbs, myself, Spotify, Rich is there, Ace from Reach, um, Boost FM, Mike from Boost FM. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Adrian, who's a committee chairperson. Like we were like a special Christian rap committee. They wanted to really do like a show for, and they've always wanted to do shows. It's something that we've been working on for a lot of years. And finally this year, we were able to put something together, so it's official. And they're probably going to start. I think after this year, GMA's. I would think they would expand a little bit because they're growing and there's a lot of interest.
Yeah.
So they've got a Latin showcase. They've got this one. They've got a worship one on Sunday, and
Hmm.
so this one's notable because we're doing the show, which is Social Club, Derek Miner, John Keith Wande, Adriel Cruz, DJ Malski, and then Grits. There's a special guest coming. We can't.
You guys got Grits. The OGs coming back.
Yeah,
Dope.
and so the thing with them is they're really close to getting a double platinum plaque. They're really close to that with their song "Ua."
Wow.
It's now this is remember they dropped that before streaming, but
Yeah,
that song's
bro.
got
So
just on
UA was
Spotify.
from 2001, I think, or
It
2002.
went crazy. So
Yeah.
that song, because of all the clips and TikTok and everything else,
Yeah.
I think they're 300 million plus streams just on Spotify, which is insane. And
So double
that's,
platinum is like officially like, I know it's all crazy now with streams and they compute that. So that would
I don't
be
even.
officially 2 million sales.
Yeah, so that's what it is. So
Yeah.
they're supposed to be getting a plaque during the show as part of the ceremony, and
Oh, that's
I
dope,
mean,
man. That's historic, bro.
yeah. And now, I mean, that's supposed to happen. I know there's other people involved that can make it happen, but that's our goal. And then they're gonna have a special guest that may come out. We can't talk about it yet because we're still trying to confirm it. But it's dope because we wanted to do something that felt like it represented the culture from A to Z to a
Yeah.
certain degree. We're not
I love
perfect
it.
in this one, so obviously we'll be able to improve on it. But man, the reception's been great. It's been exciting to see people get excited about it. A lot of folks want to fly in for it, and I
Yeah.
think it's great for Christian rap because it hasn't really had a place to kind of connect to be a part of that officially. Like the GMAs is really trying hard to find ways to be inclusive with it.
Yeah.
It's tough because they got a program that shows uh, got a lot of moving pieces that I don't understand as far as the big production.
Yeah.
But then Tim, who Tim put together the panels,
And
and
Tim
the
and
panels,
Tim lives there now. So I mean he's definitely, I
yeah,
think that's good. He's able to connect with a lot of that crowd to bring some change and some inclusion for Christian hip hop, which is great.
yeah, and he does a great job, and he's super thorough.
Yeah,
So like,
love Tim, man. He's always been a great supporter of the movement and been to Flavor Fest many times.
yep. But the panel though is dope because we're doing Amazon, um, Pandora, BET, YouTube. So it's pretty cool, man. It's kind of like a little miniature flavor fest that's happening. You know, what I'm saying
Yeah,
uh, a month before, I guess. But it's really dope. So it's good that those panels make a difference, man. When you go out
yeah,
there, you can meet them, talk to them, hear what they think about it. They give you like their real first person view of how curation works, and you get a chance to see how they look at things and what they think and what the pressure is like for them. So as an artist, it's eye opening and very insightful. It helps you like figure out how to make music that can impact when and they hear and maybe support. So I
Yeah.
get a lot of questions all the time. Artists trying to figure out how do I get heard. And so these are opportunities when Flavor Fest happens or GMAs or like even South by Southwest and other shows like that. Like those are good chances to go and sit down and connect and get a chance to hear that from people that are doing it every day. And you'll
Yeah.
be smarter for it. You know what I'm saying? It gives you a tool so you're not shooting in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's good,
yeah, yeah.
man. Well, hey, bro, what would you say is maybe one of the biggest leadership lessons you've learned from being in the seat that you're in, leading the label? Because there's all kinds of leaders that are watching this podcast.
Yeah. Man, I think patience in the years as I've gotten older, when you hit your 40s, man, you kind of change, a little bit. And I got a 2-year old, so that changed me a lot. But
Yeah,
I think what I've tried to do better is listen more, try to understand where, especially with artists, try to understand where they're coming from, not be a dream killer. You know,
yeah,
I was in the military 10 years, so I dealt in facts daily. Facts kept us alive. Facts kept the mission
yeah.
going. Dreams don't work in the military. You can't dream of completing the mission in the military. You have to do it. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to transition from the execution of the task mindset to helping an artist imagine the dream and to go for it, and then be okay with knowing they're probably not. I haven't met too many artists that are just when an album comes out, they're over the top happy. Most of the time, it's the album came out, but there could have been more. Like it's never a complete body of work. And I
Yeah.
had to get used to that's how it works. Like I had to adjust to that. I had to understand the emotional uh logic or not logic, but the emotional mindset. And it's a different mindset. It's a different way of thinking. So it took me a long time to understand that and to be patient and to listen and to help build that up without feeling like I'm necessarily signing off on something I have to do personally.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to take it like, oh, we got to get into the Super Bowl. Oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to do that for them. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, they're just dreaming. They want to get there. They got to have. Derek said something the other day, man, that really hit me. He said, you got to be able to dream to be an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Do.
and so if you're getting in the way of the dream with facts and not letting an artist get excited, uh, and you get in front of it, then you kind of kill it. So as a label head, I had to start seeing it different, and it took me a long time to get there. So and that's just part of it, man. You're not gonna always do the right thing. You're not gonna always make the right decision. Uh, so be easy on yourself. You're gonna make mistakes, especially as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
A trailblazer. I
Pioneer.
mean, your church is one of a kind. And you've been building and creating opportunities and different visions, and it probably doesn't always line up with what everybody else wants at times. It creates a lot of pressure. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, yeah, we've been pioneers, and I always tell the church, like, man, as long as I'm still here, we're not going to become settlers. We're going to keep pioneering. We're going to keep innovating. We're going to keep doing new stuff, and that's why, and I believe that Flavor Fest is still around. After 23 years, most conferences or events or movements, maybe last about 10 years or so, and they kind of hit the bell curve and fizzle out. But one of the
yeah,
things that's kept us around with longevity is we keep changing it up. We keep staying current. We keep taking stuff away, adding new stuff, switching it around. This year we did the tour where we went to 4 different cities, and we'd never done that before, and it was a lot. It was a lot, bro. But
yeah,
my team
a lot of
did a great
about
job, killed it, and we're going to be doing it again in 2024. So stay tuned. We'll have some
nice.
announcements at Flavor Fest this year about what we're going to be doing and where we're going to be going next year. But God's been lining up some really cool stuff behind the scenes. Our story is always like, man, if you're faithful in the little, God will bless you with a little more. You're faithful in that, God will bless you with a little more. And people can come now and see the facility we're in and all the stuff happening. They're like, oh my God. But bro, if you would follow the last 2 decades, it's been a story. It's been humble beginnings, and it's just been building little by little and being faithful. To say any leader, any artist out there, man, just stay faithful to what God
Yeah,
has for you to do and be patient. That's what Doc said. Learning patience.
yeah. Just know you're gonna have hard days, man. You're gonna
Yeah.
feel like quit. You're gonna feel like you want to just do a factory line. You want to just go do something brainless where you don't have to be dependent on. You don't have to worry. Just doonch, doonch. There's
Yep.
days where I feel like that. There's days where I feel like man, I just want to be the fry guy at McDonald's. You
I
know
just
what
want
I'm
to have a
saying?
normal. I want to have a normal life. Do something where I
Yeah.
don't have to think so much. Yeah.
I just want to. I don't want to sit in the middle of nowhere and look out and see nothing for 10 days. Like it comes with the territory though. Like if
Yeah.
you lead something, there's a lot of responsibility. It's going to put a lot of pressure on you because you're trying to move. People have expectations. A lot of times you don't set those expectations. They set them, and that's probably the hardest thing to understand anytime you lead anything is that there's a billion trillion people in the world or whatever it is, the actual amount, and everyone sees it different. So, what I've been trying to do these days is instead of me trying to help you get what I think you want, I've been trying to find out what you want and then figure out how to help you get that, and
Yeah.
then educate on what it takes and what that looks like and create direction. But for a lot of years, I just had it in my head like this is what you probably want, so we'll do that. And it's almost never what they really want. It's maybe down the road, maybe when they get to where I'm at, they want that, but they want what I wanted when I started
Yeah.
to be successful, to have fans, to be able to be part of something, like so that's hard to do. It's hard to like rewind the clock and remember, hey, what did you want when you started? What were you excited
Mm.
about when you started, and not try to, impose 47-year-old Doc on them versus 23-year-old Doc. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I today isn't what I wanted when I was 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah.
All right, so let's land the plane. I'm gonna give you a couple rapid fire questions. The Flavor Fest 5. Okay,
All
so
right.
you ready, man? You ready? All
Yeah,
right,
maybe.
so favorite moment at Flavor Fest.
Oh, that's easy. My favorite moment was Kenan. Kenan the year before had almost died, and he put together a song called "Grateful," and he was finally able to perform. We came to Flavor Fest. Scott was there. I think he was the host
The
of it,
host, yeah.
and I'll never forget, man. Ken performed and he started crying on stage, and the crowd just like got really into it, man. They started
Mm,
crying, and Scott went up and just started praying for us as a label and for Cannon as an artist. And it was just a really dope moment, man, to see him back up there, to see people connect with him. It was
yeah.
probably one of the biggest God moments I had, while doing music, just
Mm,
because it was bigger than the moment. It was like I knew in that room, and including me, there was a lot of people that were fighting through different things, and so they were able to,
yeah.
I think, accept that and have a moment with us. Uh, that's a moment that I'll never forget in my. There's a lot of other ones, but
Yeah.
that one always
That's a
comes to
good one,
mind.
man. That's a deep one, man. I remember that when he came back from that and it was like,
It was
wow,
big,
praise
man.
God, he's back. He's
It
back.
was so
Because
awesome. That
for a
that
minute there, it was like we didn't know if he was ever going to rap again, you know?
worst day ever. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So okay. So what's what's your favorite place to go in Tampa when you come to Flavor Fest? Anything stick out?
Yeah, there's a you're gonna laugh. Right across the street, there's that Jamaican place, that Jamaican jerk place.
It,
You know
it
what I'm
ain't
talking about?
across the street anymore, bro. It's right next door. It's in the parking lot now.
Oh man,
They moved right here in the parking lot, the jerk cut, and it's even bigger and better. And yeah,
yeah.
you're making me
I
hungry
like
right
Jerk
now.
in Tampa for sure, but their
Yeah.
jerk chicken is amazing.
Yeah,
Like
Jerk Cut is amazing. Shout out to them. The owner of Jerk Cut actually attends crossover now, and
that.
several of the people that work there attend, and we're always at visitors coming. How'd you hear about it? Well, I just went at Jerk Cut. I looked over, and man, I was like, I gotta check that place out. So
Place, that is the only place that I eat jerk chicken, man. I
cool.
love
So
it.
best speaker you might have heard at Flavor Fest in one of the sessions or something that might have stuck out to you.
Uh, I hope I don't say his name wrong. Is it is it Dr. Eric Thomas? Am I
Eric
saying it right?
Mason.
Mason. Damn.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Eric Thomas. You think about E.T., the hip hop preacher.
Yeah. Nah,
Yeah,
Mason, man. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. This is going back to the old church, the old spot.
yeah,
So I went right before you guys moved. Because remember you guys had the last one, then you had a year off, then you moved.
yeah.
And
So yeah, that's
yeah,
right, bro. You're an OG. You was even at Flavor Fest at the old location. Like most
that was special,
people,
man.
they don't
It was
even know
different.
about that. That was like 8 Mile.
Yeah.
It was with the low ceiling, everybody packed in like sardines. We had
Whole
a lot
different
of
room.
stuff outside on patios because the building was so small.
Yeah, you guys had a skate park in there.
Yeah,
You
we had a
had
stage in the skate park, a stage in the auditorium. We had a breakdancing room in the kids' church. We had all the vendors kind of in between behind the church. This little alley, we called it Vendors Alley. And
yeah. This
man, we
guy
just
that didn't know,
maximized that little space, bro.
yeah, for a guy that didn't really understand Christian rap, like when we signed the Reach with Derek, I didn't really even know who Reach really was and all that. Like I was just figuring all that out. I mean, I knew of him, but I didn't understand what all that was. You know, I was still
Yeah,
new to everything. So for me to see that, and we went there before that happened. That's when we had dropped like Blackout, and we were about to drop Redemption, and we were there, and I was like, "This is crazy. This is insane. What is this?" You know, and but yeah, Dr. Mason was. I went to his one of his speaking moment or engagement. And I'll never forget because I walked in with my hat and I sat down. He said, "Everyone, take your hats off." And he's like, "I'm just kidding. I don't care." And I was like, "What?" You know, like,
this Flavor
yo,
Fest, man. Come on. Yeah, that's
yeah.
cool, man. All right, favorite artist besides Canon, besides the Canon moment. Favorite artist that
Uh,
you saw rock.
Let me think. There's a couple different times. I'll be honest. There was the very first year I went. Uh, there was two, R. Swift and Lecrae. And R. Swift performed in the backstage outside, and
Yeah,
it was hundreds and hundreds of people out there. They knew all his songs. I didn't know who he was yet, and I was like, "Yo, this dude's dope. This is crazy." And then the Lecrae moment that got me, he was doing uh, what's the name of the song? One where he goes, "Lord, use me up." That part, the
yeah.
hook,
Don't waste your
and
life.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like way out back by the half pipe, standing up on it
Oh yeah, I
with another.
remember that, bro. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead. I'm gonna add
yeah.
my 2 cents. Go ahead.
And I didn't really know the guy I was with, but the guy I was with, like, it didn't dawn on me until he said it. He said, "Man, look at this. You got 400 or 500 kids out here saying, 'Lord, use me up.'
Yeah,
Look at this, man." And I looked, I'm like, my God, this is crazy. You know, like it really, that was a moment that I wasn't expecting. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it was really a moment. But what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember that moment, bro, because I was out there, and the auditorium at the old location was small. I mean, we could only seat like 200 people, so maybe you could have about 500 bodies in there, and we literally had like 1,000 people at Flavor Fest. And so we're like, we gotta have a second stage, and it can't. We did it before in that smaller kids church room where you can maybe stand like 150 people back there. I'm like, we gotta. So we came up with this idea to do it in the skate park, and we put a tent over the skate park, and we used the half pipes was like the stage, and it was a big area. It was like perfect, right? But the problem was we're in the middle of a residential neighborhood in the city, and this
Wow.
concert's at night. There's houses like 100,
Oh yeah, you were in the
feet
neighborhood.
away, 150
Yeah,
feet away. It's a neighborhood, right? So we gave letters out to all the neighbors, and we're like, hey, we got Flavor Fest coming up this weekend, and here's some movie tickets, some free movie tickets for you guys to go to the movies that night, because it might be a little loud, and so that helped, right? But at the same time, in that outdoor stage, we didn't even turn the sound system all the way up. It was loud, but it wasn't all the way up because we're like, we don't want to like shake the whole neighborhood. Inside was like crazy loud, right? But it was still loud. But I remember the chant, bro, when everybody was just chanting that song, Lord, use
yeah,
me, and it was like, bro, it eclipsed the music. Like
yeah.
it
It
was
did.
louder than, than the
Just
music. And
that's
it was
crazy,
like,
man.
it was drowning it out. And it was like, man, the whole neighborhood is hearing this chant of hundreds and hundreds of people saying this. Yeah, it was powerful, bro.
Yeah, I
It
never forget.
was. I
It,
was.
it,
That was a
that's great.
moment for real. So last question, last Flavor Fest 5. See, we were supposed to do these quick, and we started getting all caught in the moments and stuff. But what are you most excited about for Flavor Fest 2023, man, in Tampa?
Man, well, I'm glad I'll be there for at least a couple of days. Last time I was in and out because I was going back to a wedding, so I didn't get a chance to really dive in and see everybody, and I didn't even get really a chance to see you. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
last year when I was there though, I saw a lot of new faces.
yeah,
I saw kind of a newer generation of people coming in, and when I did the class, it was pretty dope. Like, there's a lot of good questions, and just I was excited about the new energy. So I think seeing the people I know, but then seeing all these new people come in with their new ideas and everything is always fun for me. Like, I love being a part of it and helping and educate and teach and meet and connect and fellowship. But the just seeing all the new people that are excited and coming into it,
yeah,
it's always refreshing for us because people like you and I, we do this all the time. We're always busy, we're always working, and we don't get a chance all the time to see the people that are impacted or engaging or excited. You deal with people that are either in a mid part of their career or end of their career, but you never. It's like getting a chance to see those new people coming in that were like us when we came in.
yeah,
New life, new ideas. So I think that's great because you need innovation. You need
yeah,
labels know what they're doing with what they're doing, and churches got what they're doing, but the people that come in that are new, fresh, and excited are the ones that really bring the energy and the new ideas, and it helps us because at times you just get frustrated, tired. I mean, I don't gotta tell you that. It's just, we carry a lot,
yeah.
so it's just always the best part for me is seeing that. So
That's
for the
good.
person that like no one cares I'm here, it's like, nah, you're the reason I want to be there. For
Yeah,
the one I have, for the one I didn't know was excited. We don't know your story. It's probably dope. Like, all those things matter, man. So especially when it comes to what we're doing it for, and I always feel like Flavor Fest has a welcoming atmosphere.
yeah.
So that's dope.
That's good. Yeah. So you definitely don't want to miss Doc's workshop if you're an artist. It's going to be November 2nd through the 4th. That's a Thursday night, all day Friday, all day Saturday. The music festival's in
So
the evening.
I want to give you some props, man. Like, you didn't ask a question that really let me answer a question about you, but I want to say that your diligence on this, man, and you taking it around to the cities and creating this space for people and
Yeah.
the structure and the organization and the way it looks and the platform and the opportunity, man, it's really amazing. And I know that there's been challenges when you do these things. There's always challenges,
Oh, yeah.
but I really appreciate you doing it. Yeah, man. You don't realize how hard this stuff is sometimes to put together and to keep
Yeah.
of water and to find the resources to do it. But thank you for doing that. And
Yeah.
I heard a lot about you traveling. When people were, I mean, everywhere you went, at first I was like, dang, that's a lot of work, man. How are they going to do that plus do Flavor Fest, But
Yeah.
I saw it at first, but the fact that you pulled it off and it impacted the way it did, like I just heard nothing but great things about it as you were
That's good to
traveling.
hear. That's good to hear, man. Thank you,
Wanted
man,
to
for
thank you for what you do, Tommy, for real.
yeah, it definitely was a lot to take on. A lot of money we had to raise. Our church supported it
Yeah.
as well financially in a big way. We took a special offering for it because it doesn't support itself when you first do urban stuff. Even though we had
Yeah.
a couple hundred people in each city, it was great. I mean, our goal was not to. It's never to make money. We just want to pour into leaders, and the goal is if we can break even and pay for itself, awesome, right?
Right.
But there's some great stuff because of our team's faithfulness that the Lord is, lining up for next year and providing new resources to make it even better and bigger. And we learned a lot. We got the blueprint now. So
Yeah.
now we know how we can take it to each city and make it even better next year. And the brand and the word is kind of getting out like, hey, this is what we do. And there's not really many other people providing, leadership training for people in the urban space, urban leadership space, Christian hip hop space, urban church planting space. So we just feel like that responsibility, being that our church is thriving and doing really well. We want to train and teach others and pour into them and create that space, man. So So yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you for being a part of it. And everybody watching this, flavorfest.org is where you could go to tap in. And
Yep.
last year we had like 80% of the people, like Doc said, 80% of the people were new at Flavorfest.
Yep.
So we had a whole new crop of young church planners, leaders, church entrepreneurs, artists. It was just a big, a lot of new faces. It was great. But it's a big family reunion every time. So we're praying that some of the people that have been back in the day will also come back this year and tap back in and be a part of it, man, as it continues to grow. So, Doc, where can everybody find you, man? What's the best way to find you online, bro?
Man, just reflectionmusicgroup.com or rmgforever.com. Just go there. Me personally, Instagram, I think it's Doc Watson RMG I probably spend the most time on Instagram. And that's not a lot of time.
Yeah.
I go on
right,
there,
cool.
I check.
Well, hey, bro, can you just close us out real quick, man? And just with a quick prayer, pray for all the leaders that are watching this, man, the artists that are hearing your nuggets of wisdom today.
Yeah, no, Lord, thank you for what you let us do, Lord. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to do what we love. I pray for everyone on this, Lord. A lot of times we get caught up in life and business and, just the day-to-day stuff and forget like this is what we wanted to do. This is, what we were asked to do. And, thank you, Lord, for providing and for loving us the way you do and, for giving us these opportunities. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for all the people that are out here trying to do the work, even though we get caught up in different things, Lord. It's, these artists and these people that work in administration, the churches, the promoters, the organizations. I just want to pray they all have peace today and they have a great day, Lord, and that, and that you bless them, Lord, with just amazing opportunities. And Lord, I pray for Tommy that you keep him going and keep him funded and keep him strong and keep his family strong and give him rest and give his church rest and the staff. And also, Lord, I pray for Lily. She's been doing this for a long time with Tommy, and she's a great person that really helps and cares and does a lot for people. There's a lot of people at Tommy's church that do that I don't all know all by name, but I just pray for the whole church in general, Lord, and the outreach they do in Tampa and how important it is, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, bro. Show some love for Doc Watson. Yeah, man. Thank you for being here, man. We'll see you in just a couple of weeks. So everybody else, flavorfest.org. Definitely tap in. Come out to Flavorfest. Be part of it this year. It's going to be amazing. And we got some more episodes coming up in the next few weeks with some people that are going to be featured at Flavorfest. So share this with somebody. Keep tapping in. And we will be back on the next episode. We out. Thanks for tuning into the Flavorfest Urban Leadership Podcast. Stay connected with us on social media at UrbanD813 and at Flavorfest. We'll talk to you guys next week. Peace and God bless.